Shalom. So I first of all wanted to say thanks for having me here. I believe that the papers is not the most important part. The people are. So I believe that we are a community of people who love Sanskritam and who know how to use the computers. There was a day when I understood in 2004 in Moscow we had a world Oriental conference, and I understood that time of printed books has passed. I myself am a printed book printer, but I understood that digital humanities is what I'm interested in. So from 2005, I lead a group of Sanskrit Zealot Society in Russia, which means everybody who learns Sanskrit in Russia is a student of mine. So there are around 350 students right now, and we do a lot of lexicographical research. And there is one place which is the leading source for every Sanskrit dictionary on the internet. It's the Cologne dictionary. So in 2007, I wrote my first submission of errors to this website, and I understood that the problem is that it's very closed. Nobody knows what's happening inside those dictionaries, what kind of work is being made. And it took 7 more years to make this project open enough so people can actually contribute to the correction of the dictionaries. And when I say correction, I mean not the original print errors, which are little of amount, but the errors we've added by digitizing them. So, so the story is like 30 years long, and the last 10 years we've been open on GitHub, which means people can contribute in batch mode or error one by one. So my main goal would be that like in 10 years from now, we would have at least a clean list of dictionaries as they were in the mid-19th century. So Sanskrit lexicography is still in mid-19th century, and I would want it to change one day. And there is one person who is behind everything that's happening with the Sanskrit dictionaries. His name is Jim van der Burg. He is a mathematician. He's not a linguist. He's not a Sanskrit scholar, but everything we see for the last 20 years is because of him. So he was there initially with Peter Scharf and Thomas Malton. As he is not as young as I am now, so the plan is that Dhaval Patel will replace him by the time when he says it's enough of Sanskrit digital lexicography. And there are contributors from India, and actually I'm here so that there are more of Indian contributors after I came here. So Dhaval you already know about, but there is one other contributor that is contributing more than 100 different other contributors. His name is Nagabhushana Ravukalepo. So there are 42 dictionaries at Cologne, which means that we cannot concentrate equally on all of them. Because of that, we have chosen priority dictionaries, like Monier-Williams has the best markup, but we would want the Bertling dictionaries to have as good markup as the Monier-Williams ones has. Because, for example, we don't know how many sopasargadhatus are there in the Bertling dictionaries. Still, I mean, they had been digitized like 20 years ago. We don't know how many samasas they are. They are yet to be compiled, the list. So based on these 42 digital lexicons, the total amount of Sanskrit lexica known to us is 393,000 words. As of now, the digital scans are not identical to the books. So the first goal is to make them identical, and then we can move forward. This is a small sample of the interface. I actually would want you to show that lately we've added the simple search function. That means that even if I don't know how the word is spelled exactly, we still have a chance of finding something that looks similar. But in this case, I just wanted to show that that's not always easy for the computer to know how we should construct a samasa. So every author of a dictionary, compiler of a dictionary, has his own attitude, so we don't know if it should be ati vatsala tva or it should be ati tva. Okay, so that's a computational task, not as easy as it looks. So McDonald's dictionary is like a 30,000 word dictionary. Still, it has like some 8,000 more subhead words to be added, and it requires a lot of human power, which we lack actually. So this year, I hope we start adding Sanskrit-Russian dictionaries. 5 of them I have already prepared, but they had to be added to the main site. And what I really like is that in 2004, I wrote an email to Thomas Maltin, and he sent me a CD of all those PDF scans of the dictionaries. In 2004, he had to send me the CD because the internet was really slow, and we could not send big files over. And these days, there were no digital dictionaries. Even the scans were not available openly. So in 20 years, it has changed. And now, for example, there are some dictionaries that still will not be open and never be added to the Cologne website. But there is the Keva dictionary, which I use for the etymological purposes and recommend to you as well. So the Kupa Manduka Nyaya says that if you are a frog and sit in a well, then you propose that that's the whole world, which is not actually the case. And I really like that we've made it possible, like 10 years ago, to show everything that's happening at Köln, which is not the case, for example, in Leiden, where all the dictionaries are closed. I mean, they've had that Meyerhofer's Keva like 18 years ago, and it's only for subscription-based for the libraries, which is not so great. So they've added like Gilner's and Griffith's translation of the Rig Veda lately. We had it done like 10 years ago. So the final idea would be is to unite grammar, dictionaries, and corpora. Grammar, dictionaries, and corpora. So we are cleaning the dictionaries. We are making cross-references from the dictionaries to the corpora. So lately it's been Rigveda, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Atharva Veda being added. For example, if you click on any of the references from the Grassman's Rigveda Wörterbuch, you'll land like here. So that would be one of the major goals, to make more targets for the cross-reference. And what I really believe is that we should unite the possibilities of artificial intelligence and the volunteers. Volunteers alone or artificial intelligence alone doesn't make much. So there is a movie which actually shows the way I believe we should move forward, because only a madman can compile a dictionary. And we should be like a madman to try to replicate what they've done 150 years ago with the Oxford Dictionary. We've also developed a Sanskrit search engine, which is pretty simple, with a search string function, but based on our parallel corpora, which is rather big and contains the Sanskrit texts and the Russian translations. It can show, like, it already has like almost 100 sources. So you can see that we have like 3,000 results for Jala, and we don't have to translate using Monia-Wilhelm's dictionary, which itself is a translation from Bertling's Sanskrit-German dictionary, we can directly take the Russian sources, the academical translations, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So our main concern actually is data correction. We don't care much about the code or the user interface because we are a recycling plant, and that's what we are best at. One of the sad points is that when a website takes the data from Cologne and like 10 years pass, the errors remain the same on those websites, and that I believe is an issue, and I don't have a clue on how to fix it. So there are different ways of correction of errors, but I would want to show the websites that do use the Cologne data. So we see that although Cologne has a lot of corrections on an every week basis, the websites based on it, like 10 years ago, we had like hundreds of thousands of different mistakes, and they will always remain on those websites that have taken at that time the source files. So I hope we do find a way of updating the other websites at some point as well. So as you saw today, for example, the Ambuda project uses the source files as well, and they are included in this list. So not only the dictionary files are used, but you can see that, for example, Oliver's website, as you all know, it is like perfect in every possible way. But if you look at the meanings section, you'll find it kind of funny that it arranges the meanings alphabetically, which not might be the best case, because, for example, Jala, you have a cow's embryo instead of water as the first meaning. That might be not as great for a student who sees it for the first time. So in this regards, it's not a very, I believe, a good solution. Otherwise, of course, if you want to work with corpora, you have to have a list of words. So the list of words is based on Monia-Wilhelms. So it's like out of the 200,000 words, the corpora needs like 90,000 words to cover all the corpora actually needs. There is the Rigveda data, and here is the Ambuda one. So we are working on the Russian translation of the Ramayana, and this is already of utmost interest for us, even at this stage. And there is this Nakstrages Wörterbuch des Sanskrit. So this is one of my I would say sad stories. So they take the data and they never show where they take it from, and there is no way to fixing these errors. So it's an addition to the Petersburg Bertling's dictionaries. Yeah, so a lot of projects come out of Cologne but never come back. And what we really would need is the coding part. So it took just 10 years to clean out the headwords, which means that there are a lot of thousands and tens of thousands of mistakes inside the articles. And I believe that you've seen plenty of them yourself. And right now we are concentrating on the markup. Means if there is a quotation from the Rigveda, you have to find it and write a regular expression, so we can actually link the dictionary to the corpora, and that's not always easy. We don't have a list of abbreviations. Most dictionaries have only a partly list of abbreviations. We don't even know how many there actually are. That's as regards of the coding, the major features we are lacking now. That's what we could base our attention on. And here you can see actually what simple search means. I entered Guru, and you see all the possible ways of what I could meant. I have meant the Guru one actually. So and you see you can even enter it in Cyrillic. So if your mother tongue is Russian, which most of you, of course, it is, then you can use the Cyrillic script. And there are some things you don't actually see a lot. For example, the Indische Sprüche have been linked last year but I believe only Dhaval knows that it's been done. So, I mean, the Subhashita collection, 7,500 Subhashitas, it's already linked from inside the dictionaries, and still not many people know it's there. So the Keva I spoke about, so this is like a partly digitized dictionary, which means like we have the headword list and the scans of the images. So, yep, that's the last one. So abbreviations, we don't have a list of abbreviations for each dictionary. We don't know what literary sources they use. We can spend the next 40 years adding cross-references. Yeah, we'll add a few Sanskrit-Russian dictionaries. And I believe that that's it. I want to say that however smart we are, each of us alone, we cannot change the world one by one. So I hope we unite. Thanks.
Thank you. Good. No.
Shankararama has a question.
I actually do not have any questions because it was wonderful work. As you said, Samana Hridayani Vaha, we all have to work towards that. And the way you began, Sanskrit zealots, that's really, it touches our heart. We all have to work for towards Sanskritam, and there's some great work that is being done. And we would like to help in whatever way we can and collaborate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Idam satram atra sampurnam. Shubham bhuyat. धन्यवादः.